Hello, wherever you're tuning in from, this is the Investors Corner, where we explore hidden treasures. I'm your host and producer, Tex. This episode today, we will be hosting it in the field, and our guest will be somebody who has ventured in investing his time, money, energy, and resources in investing in the education sector. That is in the private sector, both primary, secondary, and nursery education. Stay tuned to this episode to find out about who this guest is and what he has to offer or bring to the table in today's program. Stay tuned.
This is Pentagon campus. We built this campus in 2018, and after 2018, other campuses came up. So basically, we opened this campus in 2018, and it is exclusively for secondary. Yes.
Can you introduce us to your staff, the administration, so that we can get to know, maybe hear a little bit from them before we go deeper into asking you more questions?
Thank you. Our structure after the school director is a school administrator and then headmaster. So since we are in secondary, I'll be able to take you through the staff, the school administrator, headmaster, and the staff. And then later we go to other campuses. So welcome. So this is school administrator. He administers all the three campuses. Okay. So after him falls three headmasters. So he's here. Welcome.
So maybe we can hear briefly from you. Give us your name, what you do in this school, and what does this school stands for?
Thank you very much. My name is John Aluong. I'm the school administrator. And, what is so important is the quality assurance of the school. And if you look at the quality assurance, you look at the hygiene of the schools, and this is where I actually fall in. And the standard of the school immediately comes from the recruitment of the teachers. That is number one. The success of the school started with the recruitment, and as you can see, we have all the qualified teachers that are administering all the classes, starting from nursery, primary, and secondary school. And that's what makes us to be very unique as Darling Wisdom Academy.
And maybe we can, just to get to know about the rest of the support staff here, let's move quickly to the next so that we can get to know more.
Thank you.
Tell us your name and your work in this.
Thank you very much. I'm Bidal Ernesto Steven, the head teacher of secondary section. Being the head teacher of secondary section, my main work is to see into that the teachers who are given to me by the school admin, and some of them were brought by the school director, and the qualified ones have to do their work in the classrooms, and they deliver the exactly thing that is needed in the syllabus of South Sudan, and to prepare our students who have come with the intention of learning to achieve the goal of what they wanted in this country.
And briefly, can you shed light about the performance of the secondary school in terms of academic?
Yes, we had been performing well. Since 2018, when the school started, every year we ever give students in top 10, and up to this recent one of 2020-2022, we gave it 2 in top 10 and then 2 in the top 23, and their performance is well. But however, to our level as a school, it is still not enough. We want to improve more than that.
Mr. Arem, we have heard from your support staff and the teachers about the kind of work they're offering here. Could you be kind enough also to show us around to see the facilities, the offices, the classes, so that we can justify what you're telling us?
Okay, thank you. I think we'll begin with the staff room. I think we'll be moving to the staff room, and then we maybe see other places. But you see, the building is very vast. We have like over 40 classrooms. Very spacious. You know, we have 100 staff. The number is big, and as you can see, this is where our staff sit. So they wait for their lessons. When it is time for the lesson, they go and teach, and the room is very spacious.
How many teachers exactly do you have in this high school?
In high school, we have like over 60 teachers. And then in primary, we have like 25. And in nursery, we have 10. So we have the laboratory. Up there, we have the library. and we also have the computer lab, ICT. So our students who finish here in senior 4, they don't finish and go again for computer courses. We have to give them computer so that by the time they finish, we also give them certificates. So in this wing, we have the laboratory down, we have the library, and we also have the computer lab. And there are 4 classes that are hosting the senior 4s. So I think I can briefly introduce you. Okay. This is one of the classes hosting the senior 4.
Okay.
So we have 4 streams for senior 4, okay. And you can see now they are taking their lessons.
Okay, Mr. Rem, you have shown us the offices and the classes. What standard are you trying to set in this kind of a school in South Sudan?
Okay, thank you. You see, I planned, I strategized for long, and I always say it. I did not just wake up in the morning and started a school. So I strategized, I started looking for enough land, I started looking for qualified people, and you see, when the buildings are conducive and there are qualified staff, I think the standard will automatically be there. I also motivate the staff so that they attach the value of their lives to their job. And so my aim is high. I have a very big vision. I need the standard to maintain itself so that others can copy in the country. You see, we can do anything ourselves in this country. We don't need somebody to come and do for other things.
Then can we also, maybe before we go deeper into this discussion, can we briefly take a sample of your students to hear from them about what they feel about their studies here and the environment and everything? First of all, tell us your name, the class you are in, and your expectation of this school.
My name is Nenagu Mariam John. I'm in Senior 4 Sciences. I expect the best in this school because it is one of a kind.
How do you see the academic studies in this school, the facility, compared to other places in Juba? And what do you expect this school to deliver as an example to other schools across the country?
This school has the best academic performance, according to me, because when I joined, the teachers teach well. The teachers give us what we are supposed to be having in mind. They teach us everything, and then they also guide and counsel us. So according to me, I say it is the best school. And then according to the facilities, we have hospitable teachers. They are welcoming, they are kind to us, the students. And then in our fans, since the weather of South Sudan is hot, we are provided with fans to keep us cool in class. Yeah.
And let's also hear from your colleague here. Tell us your name, the class you are in.
Oh, thanks very much. My name is Osman, Malip, a student of Senior 4 Arts, Darling Wisdom.
And what do you think about these schools in terms of education, in terms of co-curricular activities, compared to other schools?
Wow, thanks. You know, to me personally, Darling Wisdom High School is a good school. One of the best so far in South Sudan. And currently, to me, it's the best school. Why? First of all, the facilities in the school. The kind of teachers they recruit well-trained teachers. Teachers are of good qualities. Teachers that train a student to become who he or she is to become in future, to become a great leader in future. And for that, Darling Wisdom is doing everything. They have recruited good teachers, good qualified teachers, teachers who give everything to every student. That's the reason why you see in every year we excel in exams, because we are trained to become good achievers of success.
Continuing on this episode of Investors Corner in the Field, we have been talking to Mr. Nobel Arem, a local entrepreneur who is investing in education, that is primary and secondary school. They've been showing us through his secondary school. We've seen the facilities, we've seen the students, we've heard about the performances, both academic and co-curricular activities. And while we are now moving to the other part of his establishment, which is the primary and the nursery. And Mr. Arem is here with me, driving me to his next stop place to show us. Mr. Arem, while we are driving to the next place, if you can be able to also tell us something briefly about the reason as to why you have high school in another place and primary in another place. I believe the issue of lack of land in Juba. How do you describe that?
Okay, thank you very much. You know, lack of land is one of them, but again, it is not good to combine the three campuses, the three sections in one place. You see, learning involves a lot of things that include the extra or co-curricular activities, and so the children, as they are growing, they need to be playing, and so we cannot combine the children in secondary, the children in primary and nursery. Each section has to be exclusively alone, and so even if we are to have enough land, it is more organized to have them in three campuses so that the children in nursery can play alone, the children in primary can play alone, and secondary.
And how do you think about the community in which you are staying here now, the neighborhood? How are these people perceiving these development activities that you are doing of the school and all this? Are they receptive of what you're doing?
Exactly. You know, we are working hand in hand with the communities around. I think our two campuses, the primary and nursery, are in Mahuna Block 3, and secondary, which is Pentagon campus, is in Dar es Salaam. And so the quarters, the local quarters of these places are working with us. Of course, we are also practicing what we call corporate social responsibility. We have children of these three blocks that we have taken, and we are educating them so that they feel part of our investment. So
yeah. So tell us about this. We are entering a bridge. What is this bridge about?
This bridge is what we call Nana Bridge, and of course the primary is called Nana Campus. So this bridge connects Mauna and Dar es Salaam and Haitarawa. So we are entering now the next campus, which is Nana Campus for primary.
Okay.
So shortly we'll be getting down and we'll introduce you to our next campus.
Good. Let's now go and see the rest inside.
Okay, thank you. This is what we call Nana Campus for primary. Now we are at the gate. The headmaster is here, so I can be able to take you through. It is more smaller than the Pentagon, yes, but it's conducive, as you can see.
We'll talk to the headmaster shortly. Maybe just let's see around and then we'll Mr. Kello, tell us about the performance, the academic performance of primary school and the co-curricular activities that this school takes in.
Well, thank you so much for that question. Concerning the academic performance of the school, as beautiful as you can see the school is, the academic performance is also excellent. I don't have doubt in our teachers that really is mentoring the children and making our performance to be very clear as far as academic is concerned in South Sudan. Probably I would like to just tell you that we are using the South Sudan curriculum, and we do some small integration to make our children here fit the outside world, especially East Africa. Whenever they go there, they can be in position to compete with the children or the students who are there. If I could say, I may not mention all, but I would like to say, as our academics is concerned here, our performance is not bad in terms of primary 1, primary 2, up to primary 7. They are not bad, because if I do compare our children, whenever they do examination here, even though you're seeing that their performance is low, but when they go out, they excel, which means there is something perfect that we are doing here.
People are in holidays, and we are being regulated by the Ministry of Education.
What other amenities do you have to support the work of the studies of students easy? Like dormitories for the boarding,
exactly,
and the kind of facilities that you offer, like you feed your students so they don't look for it.
Exactly.
What are the other amenities?
Exactly. You know, we motivate everybody at every level. We have a fleet of school buses that help our children. those who are residing in far quarters in Juba, we collect them and we drop them in the evening. So mobility of our students and people is scattered from. Secondly, in boarding, we have a good boarding facility. This is a modern facility with beds for girls and boys. And feeding, 100%. We feed them with beans, first-class beans, the green or yellow beans, and then portion. And their diet is balanced. They eat meat on Wednesday and they eat meat on Sunday. So the feeding is good for our boarding children. I think the next one, which is less than 50 meters from here, in the nursery, we call it Honolulu campus. And this is Nana, the other one is Kenya. So shortly we'll be able to go to nursery campus and see what is there.
This is boys hostel. The boarding place facility for boys.
I decided to separate the primary from nursery, and I believe in standard. You can see the standard here is international standard. Psychologically, see the psychology of the child has to be satisfied. If the child is psychologically stable, even learning process can also be okay for the child. So the first thing we do is that to make the learning environment so conducive so that the children will learn how to swim. I'm going to take you through, you'll see how it is when you have a swimming pool so that the children will be swimming on Fridays. So this is exactly what we call Honolulu campus is for the nursery. So I will
let's go around and see your team. Maybe we'll
okay. Yeah, this is the head. You'll be able to interview.
Okay. Thank you very much. First of all, tell us your name, your work here, and introduce us.
Yeah, thank you for the viewers. My name is Mustapha, and I'm the headmistress of Darling Wisdom Nursery. And here are some of my staff. They are not all here. Next to me is my deputy. We are going to provide a rounded education that tackles all fields, that say academics, co-curricular activities, swimming, developing kids' talent through modeling, music, and all that.
Then after going through these facilities, we have seen a number of things and talked to a lot of people who are engaged in this center. We'll take a short break and we'll get back to know more about what Darling Wisdom Academy has to offer and what are the benefits that people are seeing from this institution that is within these neighborhoods. Stay tuned, Investors Corner will be back shortly. There are plenty of investment opportunities in this world's youngest nation of South Sudan. To better understand the economy and explore the thriving market of this country, you ought to get out of your comfort zone. You either hustle under the scorching sun in Konyo Konyo market, run errands at a small or medium business enterprise, or better yet, chair a conglomerate board meeting at a high-end tower in Juba. While awaiting an official business trip to the region. Whatever you do, just don't rest. Work hard, think big, and be smart in order to count all your economic blessings through this weekly business show of the Investors Corner, exploring hidden treasures. Join us every week at this time. Welcome back from that break. You're still tuned to the Investors Corner with me, Tech Stephen Okuta. Now, you have seen before the break, we are here with Mr. Nobel Arem, the director and the founder of Darling Wisdom Academy. We've been moving around seeing his facilities, and we are here now to ask him more about the reason as to why he decided to establish or to venture into education as a business as opposed to any other business line that many entrepreneurs would go for. Mr. Arem, what inspired you to invest your money and time in setting up school as opposed to any other thing, and is it paying off as of now?
Okay, thank you very much. Look, personally, I had a dream to establish a school since my childhood. But again, when I came to work in South Sudan, I was working in the bank, KCB Bank, and where I was placed, the department that I worked, I was directly linked to the customers. And there was a lot of sufferings in South Sudan in 2011, 2012, and 13. So I was in customer service, and our people were suffering, transferring a lot of money to Uganda, transferring a lot of money to Kenya and other countries, looking for dollars to pay school fees. So it was a big suffering. You find that people line up, people apply for exchange of dollars for a month. And so I looked at it as a suffering. So I was questioning myself. So what is the problem? Why do we educate our children outside so that our people suffer like this? I was like, what if we build better schools at home so that this problem is solved? So it was number one that inspired me. I decided to contribute to make a better school like this that can reflect the standards in East Africa and elsewhere, so that this suffering will be stopped. Our people can let their children study at home. So this is how I got inspired. I came in to solve a problem as a person.
And I am sure doing this kind of a business is quite challenging, as many other business is. What are the main challenges that are facing you now in doing this kind of a business, and how best are you working on resolving them?
Okay, I crossed from banking to education. You see, I was a bank manager, and as I crossed to come and do investment in education, there are a lot of challenges. Number one challenge is the land issue. You see, land is number one capital when you are planning a business. And so you must have a land to build. And lands in Juba are very expensive, and it is very difficult to get enough land. As you can see, I built upwards simply because there is no space. And this is number one challenge. The second challenge is the economy. The economy in our country is fluctuating. And so the economy is not stable. You find yourself charging school fees or changing school fees on a yearly basis. You charge this year, tomorrow will be another figure. And of course you cannot remain in the same figure because this money will be useless at the end of the day. So this is one challenging thing in this country because our economy is unpredictable.
And also, Mr. Rem, the government is supposed to play a role, in supporting such initiative. Any investment in health, investment in education should be prioritized. What kind of positive support that you're seeing coming from the government? And if not, what do you expect that the government should do to support such entities and such individuals who are, prioritizing investment in these basic necessity services?
Okay, you see, the business I'm doing is private. And you see, the government is not having the support. They don't have anything that they offer to private education, but they are supporting us in terms of licensing, in terms of working with us closely. But again, it is not enough. You see, the government should encourage investment in education in this country. You see, our bigger percent in the country is illiterate. And for the government and us, all of us, to fight this illiteracy, there must be a contingent plan towards education. We must move the illiteracy percentage lower. We must fight so that the illiteracy rate increases in the country. If the people are educated in this country, even other issues will be solved. Even the violence, the communal violence will reduce, the economy will even will improve. And so the government should have plans to give land especially. The land is the immediate factor that the government can come in and support private investors, giving them land to build what they can do for the country.
Yes, and while you're also expecting assistance and support from government and communities, we understand that this is business, and in business, profit is the main thing. While you're making profit, part of this business, you are serving the community. How do you give back to these communities that you are serving after you profit?
You know, profit as part of the business is not my number one priority. The priority is to give the standard service to the people of South Sudan. And you see, this is a long-term investment. You know, when you do a long-term investment, you don't expect the profit to be immediate. So even if the profit comes after 10 years, after 20 years, this is exactly my objective. So the first thing is to bring the standard home so that our children get the standard education. The first thing is to eradicate the illiteracy. And so exactly it is paying back in terms of my objectives. You see now, so far we have graduated more than 1,000 since the beginning, and most of them are in the universities. And so in the next 10 years, my target is that 5,000 that might have come through Darling Wisdom are already in the universities. Yes. And so the profit is not the immediate, it is not the immediate aim.
And since you are aiming higher, I know we are edging closer to what the program, but I would like to know about, we've seen a lot of your current plan, but also if you can shed light on your medium and long-term future plans that you intend to do in terms of building education sector.
My strategic plan for 10 years is to have 10 Darling Wisdom campuses in 10 South Sudan states. Another long-term plan is to have university in future. So these are the long-term plans, and I'm working towards the plans.
And as we conclude, what is your takeaway points from all this discussion?
You know, I appeal to people who have money in South Sudan to invest in education. You see, I'm not regretting much as I cross from a different profession to a different profession. Educating the country is the best way we can serve our country. So people who have money, they should invest in education. They should build good schools. They should motivate the teachers so that we cut sending children outside. There's high risk. You know, if we allow the large chunk of our children to get educated in other countries, even our nationalism, even South Sudanese nationalism will be weakened in 20 years to come. So children must study at home so that they know their languages, so that they know their culture, so that they love their country. And so we must invest in education. I encourage people who have money to invest in education. There's no competition. I don't hate people who are coming up. I look at them as partners. I look at them as people who are serving the same people, the people who are serving the same objectives. And so I encourage people who have money to do investment in education.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Nobel Arem Riak, a banker by profession, and now a gentleman who has decided to invest his time and money in building education sector. Thank you for giving us your time and showing us around on this investment that you are putting in place. We look forward, to discussing on this more in the future. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And this brings us to the end of our episode for today. That is on education, supporting investment in education. I've been your host, Tech Stephen Ugut, and my guest was Mr. Nobel Arem, the director and the managing director and the founder of Darling Wisdom Academy, the school that is offering both secondary, primary, and nursery schools in this city of South Sudan, capital Juba. Thank you very much for taking your time and tuning to this episode. I urge you to continue viewing our programs on SSBC every Wednesday at 7:30 and also on our Facebook page for more intake. In the meantime, thank you very much.